Waits on this 2-1 from Bieber. Edman up the middle, base hit center field. Muncy running the bases hard. Varsho's arm is not good. First and third, 1 out. The corners, another 2-2 from Bieber. It is a fastball, and it's lifted to deep right field. Barger goes back on it, steps onto the warning track, plenty deep enough to bring home the game's first run.
The reason I didn't like that away is it's too easy to lift the ball away for that sac fly. You got to be so good inside to be able to do that as a hitter and pull your hands in. That pitch actually did him a favor to get that fly ball.
Kike Hernandez knocks in Max Muncy. The Dodgers go walk, single, sacrifice fly, and lead game 4. Now, one of the stories of last night's game was how good they had an 11th, warming for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball to deep left center field, headed back there. It is gone. Vlad Jr. gives the Jays the lead. The franchise face putting the team on his back.
I'll tell you, this guy's amazing, and he's ready for everything. I mean, this is the first mistake that Ohtani has made, and he didn't get it back. And he can appreciate that because he does that to every other pitcher when he's at the plate. This breaking ball is up, barrel of the bat out in front. And I said, if a spinner is in the zone, it's a recipe for a launched home run. All you got to do is backspin it as a hitter and get that barrel to the ball, and the ball just takes off.
7th. Bonda's 8 pitch. Jimenez comes through with a base hit to left center field. Varsho's in to score, and it's 3-1. Andres Jimenez battling with 2 strikes.
That was more like Blue Jays baseball that you've been seeing throughout the playoffs. Runners in scoring position, they have been stingy. This is literally put the bat on the ball and see what happens. And that's what happens when you do put the bat on the ball. Drawn in infield, easier to hit. But if you've got a big swing, you're going to swing and miss. If you've got that short swing, yourself as a hitter. If it's low, let it go.
It was high, let it fly. Bouncer right side. Only play is at first. A run comes through the back door. And right away, that overturned call looms large as Clement comes in to score. And an RBI and a pinch hit ground out from Ty France. Good arms in last season's championship. Has struggled mightily this October. There's another shot to deep left. Over the head of Hernandez and against the wall. Bichette hangs on with a long single. And it's 5-1 Blue Jays.
Looking for that first one from Bichette to really let it go, and he did. It's the first missile he's pulled, and you know he's been waiting for this moment. Gets a hanging breaking ball, and he just, that's well over 100, I would think. 106. I'm going to guess 106 miles an hour. Guessing.
We'll get that answer for you.
Total guess.
109.6.
Okay.
Had the 6 in there. Blake Treinen has now faced 8 hitters in this World Series and given up hits to 5 of them. 2 on, 2 out. Barger. Ground ball left side. Past Mookie Betts, and it's 6-1. A 4 spot for the Jays in the 7th.
Well, what happens with Blake Treinen when you're not 100% is that sinker that is so nasty has a bowling ball drop off the table effect. It's just not as effective. That late movement allows the hitter to track it. Breaking ball hanger and the sinker that you hit on the ground that you think you're going to get the out just doesn't have that last extra movement that misses the barrel. Perfectly legal to relay signs on the field.
Line drive left field. Miles Straw puts it away. And the Blue Jays have tied this series up. After the gut-wrenching loss last night that might have just wiped the lesser team off, the Blue Jays bounce back and win it 6-2.
Very impressive. You know, both teams were running on fumes, but the team that had the most adrenaline was the team that won last night, and that was the Dodgers. And
we talked about Toronto. How would they bounce back from, as you called it, the uppercut that they absorbed last night? That was about as good as a response as you could possibly have.
In all my years, it's one of the most amazing recoveries in less than 24 hours for this team. Look, we've been saying it all along. Anytime that you bet against this team, they prove you wrong. And tonight, Shane Bieber was fantastic, pitched beautifully, great sequencing, great command the whole night. 7 different Blue Jays got hits. Their best player, Vladimir Guerrero, with a home run and errorless ball. And
here he comes.
Oh, Vlad Jr.
That
is
man of the
walking
hour.
on over. He's going to hang with us after a big 2-run home run, was on base multiple times, doing his thing, couple hits, 2 RBIs, and he gets the Blue Jays back in this World Series, all tied at 2. Vlad, what's up, man? Good to see you, man. Congrats. All right, so my chair just went way up here. Try to get down. I'm stuck. Anyway, Vlad, great to see you. How did you do it? How did you yourself and your teammates kind of rebound after last night and get ready to play here today?
I mean, yesterday was a tough lose, you know, but we flushed it right away. And to us, it's one game at a time, one pitch at a time. And thank God we come with a W today.
Vlad, now, you guys have been the best team in baseball coming back. Every time people think that you're finished, you always fight back. Where does that mentality come from, and how much confidence did you guys have coming to the park this morning?
I mean, it's a 27 now, you know. 27 now, we grinder, we always positive. The first thing I say yesterday is like, I flush it, try to rest, and tomorrow we're trying to come to the first inning and trying to win the game, you know. And I learned that from a lot of you guys. And when you got that and you mind, it's not over yet. Something like today happens.
Black, they were interviewing Dave Roberts. First of all, congratulations, big boy. They were interviewing Dave Roberts right after you hit the home run. And he basically said he wouldn't and sit on that pitch. Take me through that at bat against, especially against Ohtani, who had that 98 miles an hour fastball in the back pocket.
I mean, and that at bat, just when I made my fastball, that was a good swing, you know. And when I hit that foul ball, I said he's not gonna throw me the fastball again. So I put my mind soft, and that's a good pitch.
He hanging, we banging.
Yeah.
Vlad, congrats. What an amazing game, and one of the most amazing recoveries in less than 24 hours to come back. It shows the grit and the character that you've shown all year. My question, I want to build off of what Poppy just asked. You know, both teams are almost sleepwalking because you can tell it's fatigued, right? Did you feel that you were the guy that had to step up in that big moment with that shot to get your team going? And how good did it feel when you saw that ball go over the fence?
I mean, like I said, I just try to help the team to win. You know, I not put pressure on myself. You know, I just try to get a good pitch to hit, and he gave me that pitch, and I hit it out.
You hang your
Vlad,
bang.
how much juice did Bieber give you tonight? I mean, when you really needed it, he was as good as he's been since you got him at the trade deadline.
He's one of the best, man. He's an amazing human being, an amazing player. He's always told us before the game, I believe in you. I believe in you, you know, and when you got pitcher like that, told you he believe in us, and you got to give it 100% and give it the heart, and that 2-line.
But change directions here just for a second. How bad do you feel for George Springer? I mean, he's been a guy that has been on this stage and had so much success. He's one of the leaders of your team. He comes up with big hits. When a guy like that goes down on your team, do you feel like you have to pick it up even more?
Like I say, I just try to help the team to win. I don't put pressure on myself. If I want to do too much, I get pressure on myself, you know. But to me, it's like he told us yesterday, sorry, and I say, man, it's a baseball. Don't say sorry, you know. You don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I believe in this team, man. This thing is something special.
Fun to watch, man.
So, Vlad, last night, obviously, it was a big celebration here in L.A. Everyone is betting against you guys that you wouldn't be able to recover. Talk to me about what happened in that locker room last night. Did anybody speak up? And what is it about this team that you're so resilient? that you're able to come back in less than 24 hours and perform like this?
I mean, yesterday everybody was with his head down, you know, in the locker room. And when I was the last one to go in, and when I went in, I saw everybody with his head down. I say, come on, bro, head up. It's not over yet. It's not over. They not win the four games. Right. You have to win 4 games to win the World Series. You know, it's not over yet. And everybody was smiling. I say, if you want to put music, put some music.
Love that.
And we put a little bit of music, and we go home and rest and come back and win into it.
You're just like this guy. You're like Papa. You're a winner.
That's why you my dog. Matter of fact, I got a present for you, baby. I got a cigar.
A cigar too.
And I got one on my dog's shirt for my boy right here. Come on, Baladi, take it, baby. Here you go.
Poppy, that's black.
I got some bullet right there left.
Is that the VIP black, the VIP edition?
No, that's my boy. Only the bad guys wear those shirts. I love you, baby. Te quiero mucho.
Vlad, he always gives out the shirt. That's the first cigar he's given out. So
That's
you
right.
know he loves you right there, baby.
This is my guy.
Enjoy it. Congrats. We'll see you for Game 5, okay? Vlad Guerrero Jr. amazing again tonight as he's been these whole playoffs. Let's talk Shane Bieber tonight. We talked in the pregame show, you know, he had to give them a big-time start tonight. He was the best he's been since they've gotten him. I mean, he had 2 wicked strikeouts of Ohtani tonight. His stuff was awesome.
Yeah, I tell you what, everyone in this stadium couldn't wait to have something to cheer for. Everyone here thought that it was 2 more games and we were not returning to Toronto. The series was going to be over. But the Toronto Blue Jays and Shane Bieber had something to say about that. I mean, he gave them exactly what they needed. They needed him to go out there and add a little bit of length, keep the crowd out of it, and give his offense a chance to get going.
I tell you what, Bieber came with a mindset, hey, my team played 18 innings last night. I got to go out there and stay as long as I could so our team can survive. And when you look at the bullpen coming right after him, they just continue just stopping the Dodgers offense, which I think, based on the 18 innings that they played last night, they don't look as strong as they look like they're going to be last night into this game. But Bieber, like we say in the pregame, he stayed north-south, left-right. He stayed out of that diamond, and that's why he dominated that big offense.
You're right, Pop. He was so impressive. I mean, he turned back the clock tonight and looked like Shane Bieber, the Cy Young winner, and he had all 4 pitches working. You know, he only had 3 Ks, but two of them was against Ohtani, and he threw him a brilliant changeup, his best of the night, to strike him out the second time. Look, it's the kind of courageous performance you need at this time of the year. The whole world was betting against them. So that's why I asked Vlad, how was it in that locker room? And it was so telling, something, Papa, you would do, that you would say, hey, keep your head up, turn on the music. It just gives you a little insight to what this team is all about. They came out and performed, and give the manager a lot of credit. Those guys played their butts off last night. Even though they didn't win, they had the secondary lineup out there against the first lineup, and they battled their heck off. They just couldn't get enough hits.
It's a great question. It gives you a little insight into Vlad's leadership, too, right? And obviously, they came out loose tonight, but Shane Bieber really set the tone. Let's check in with him. He's with Ken Rosenthal now.
Thanks, Shane. It seemed like the odds were against you tonight. You're without George Springer. You're up against Shohei Ohtani. What is it about this team that makes it so resilient?
We don't care. Obviously, it's tough to lose a guy like George even for just 1 game. You know, hoping he can get healthy as soon as possible, but at the same time, we have so many guys that are capable of impacting the game in a positive way, and that's, I mean, since I got traded over here, that's exactly who we've been, and you know, it's just a pleasure to be a part of this group.
No matter what happens tomorrow, this series is headed back to Toronto.
Yeah.
You played a huge role in making that happen. Shane, with all you've been through, where does this moment rank in your career?
Biggest start of my career. You know, obviously, you know, coming off of Tommy John, and you know, I'm feeling pretty good, all things considered. But at the same time, like I said, coming off of Tommy John, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and it was a big team win. You know, I would have loved to been able to get through a couple more innings just coming off of last night. Like, what a game that was. And at the same time, these guys picked me up in a huge way. Flew Hardy, Chris Bassett, what can you say about that guy? Like, one of my all-time favorites very quickly. And I already let him know that, but excited to celebrate with the guys and move on to tomorrow.
Shane, congratulations. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
All right, Shane, Kenny, appreciate that. We're all believers. Here's Bieber in the playoffs so far. I mean, he's had 2 absolutely fantastic starts and nothing bigger than this. And think about this. Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, they pulled the trigger on this deal. He was still hurt, Alex, when they got him, right? They know about his resume, Cy Young winner, but he's coming back from Tommy John, and you hope he comes back, but they weren't guaranteed of that when they made this move. It was all worth it tonight. No matter what they gave up, it's worth it tonight.
Oh, and then some. I mean, Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, 2 of the best executives in baseball. They've done a magnificent job with this roster, and those are the type of moves you have to make around the trading deadlines. They're a little bit contrarian, a little bit of, I don't know what, you have to think a little bit outside the box, because you're not going to go up against the Giants, you know, the Dodgers that are spending over $500 million. You got to figure out a way how to win in the edges, and they did in this one in a big way.
Well, we all know that he's not a strikeout pitcher, but he also is the type of guy that he needs to have guy playing great defense behind him. When you play great defense, when Chase Bieber is pitching, you get rewarded. Like, look at this strikeout right here. He stayed out of that diamond all night. For you to strike out a hot bat like the one that Ohtani had the past couple of nights, you better locate your pitches and stay away from that diamond, otherwise he will hurt you.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, you know, he's not a strikeout pitcher, right? Because he's not. He can strike people out, but he pitches to contact. That's how he's able to get. It goes to show you don't have to strike out 15 guys as a team in order to win. Throw the ball over the plate, have them put it in play, keep the pitch count down, and you need your defense playing behind you. But this is the reason why they got him. The reason. And when they made the trade for him, a lot of people questioned it, because they said, well, he's still hurt. Why would you trade for him? They traded for him for this reason tonight.
And let's understand the stage, right? It was a game 4, but it was really like a game 7. If they lose today, you're not beating the Dodgers 3 days in a row. So if you don't win today, it's basically going home. They had the perfect pitcher in Shane Bieber going tonight, a veteran that mixes up well with secondary stuff with a slow heartbeat, is exactly what the great Andy Pettitte used to do for us.
Oh, there we go. We got a Pettitte match.
I was missing him.
It was a while. It had been a while. Meanwhile, the flip side, we talked so much about Shohei Ohtani. What he did tonight was incredible. He got into the 7th inning of this game, and then finally they got to him a little bit. He ended up being charged with 4 runs, but was out of the game. Bullpen gave it up immediately. Let's hear Shohei postgame.
When your team uses as many pitchers in as long a game as last night, does the start today feel any different for how much length you feel you have to give and quality you have to give?
特に昨日の試合の中で活躍使われている中、今日はちょっと長いイニング投げないといけないっていうのは感じてました。それはもちろんそうですね。それはレギュラーシーズンもそうです。ポストシーズンで昨日みたいに、なかなかあれぐらい長い試合ってのはないと思いますけど、スターティングピッチャーとしては、最低でも6回、今日はもちろん7回まで投げ切れれば一番良かったですけど、そこができなかったのが悔やまれるところかなと思います。Yes, I did. Whether that's during the regular season or the postseason, my goal is to be able to pitch 6 innings, and in this situation, this game, I wanted to go 7, and it was regrettable that I wasn't able to finish that inning.
You know, Ohtani didn't have a hit at the plate tonight, but what he did after playing 18 and getting on base a record 9 times last night was just sick. It really was. You look at his performance on the mound, got charged with 4 runs. He allowed the first 2 on in the 7th and then was lifted, and the bullpen gave it up. Just really all base hits for the Blue Jays, but I think we do have to appreciate how insane it was, Derek, that he gave you into the 7th inning tonight after what he did, less than a day ago.
100%. He said it's regrettable he didn't get through 7 innings. Why? I don't understand that. There's nothing he should regret. Ohtani is amazing. We thought he may look tired. He didn't look tired.
No.
At all. I mean, Vlad is Vlad. He hit a home run, a couple guys on base, ended up giving up 4 runs, but he did exactly what they needed him to do, right? They needed him to go deep in the game, and I think people are going to make this about, Ohtani struggled. He didn't struggle. You still have to go out and score runs. I think it's more on the Dodgers offense not being able to put together some string of hits and score some runs offensively. But Ohtani, it's amazing. Amazing what he did, and he shouldn't regret a thing.
I'm sorry, but I don't care that he didn't get any hit tonight. He went into the mound and he did what he was supposed to. I mean, that lineup have 9 batters. I mean, come on, man. You don't get hit every night. The guy went and pitched outstanding out there. Even if he got out of the game and give up the bullpen, give up another 2 runs, this guy was outstanding tonight. I mean, he know that his bullpen was hurting today. And he came in after playing 18 innings last night. He came in and pitched 6 innings. I wasn't expecting him to be for that long out there. But the guy's battled through it, man. He's a trooper, man.
For all the things that I've seen Shohei do, tonight was the single most impressive thing. I know as a player and playing for over 20 years, just like my guys right here, we know how hard it is to come play shortstop or third base or DH. To do what he did, look, all 18 players on the field, they were tired. You can see dead legs. You can see tired legs. Just like when you're a boxer, 15 rounds, 13, 14th round, you have no legs. But for some reason, he was the only guy out there with high energy. And he was covering face. He was jumping around. We were joking in the green room. He's actually laughing. And we're like, how is he doing it? And look, he was brilliant. He threw great pitches. He made one mistake to the wrong guy with a cement mixer, and it cost him 2 runs. Besides that, he was perfect.
Yeah, really good. And I think the one thing that it underscores, and Derek, you brought it up, is that the Dodgers offense still has not been great this postseason. They've had superlative performances. Obviously, Freddie the hero with the walk-off last night in the 18th. Shohei's been magnificent. Teoscar's done a nice job. But these are main big-time players that are just not hitting right now for LA. And, you know, you win the game last night, so it still masked all the opportunities. I think 4 games in a 2-2 World Series, I think we're still kind of waiting to see the Dodgers offense, right?
We are still waiting, but it's their pitching staff that's got them to this point.
Yeah.
And when I say pitching staff, it also counts Shohei because he's a hitter and a pitcher. So it's you keep sitting here and we're expecting it. We know it's going to happen. These guys are too good to struggle for an extended period of time. And sometimes it only takes 1 at bat, 1 inning to get guys rolling. So the Los Angeles Dodgers are playing a resilient team, the Toronto Blue Jays, that never give up. Every time people count them out, they find a way to get it done. Everyone in that clubhouse could not be happier right now because they're flying back to Toronto. The Dodgers clubhouse did not want to go to Toronto, but now it's 2 out of 3.
And Cap, there's 40,000 people tonight at Rogers Center that were pretty darn happy. Their home team is coming back. But look, we talked about this before we started, Kevin. We were kind of previewing the series, and we talked about David versus Goliath. But after 4 games, you can make, and it's not a stretch to say after 4 games, the Blue Jays have been a better team. Now, there's 3 games left, possibly. But they're +6 in runs. They have 6 more runs scored than the Dodgers. But when I look at that lineup, the one guy that you have to circle is the great Mookie Betts. Because if Mookie doesn't get going, that means that Shohei may not get 1 more at bat for the rest of the series. And that's something to watch.
I'll tell you what. You will say this. You will say, Shohei Ohtani have a hard job to do because he had to pitch and he had to hit. But he's just even more critical because if he doesn't hit, they don't hit. It seems like every night when they get going, it's because of him. Now, you have a lot of superstars in the ball club. You have a lot of professional hitters that until this point, they haven't been able to come through collectively.
So, Poppy, let me stop you right there. You're one of the greatest clutch hitters in October. If you're in that clubhouse right now and you see that your team is struggling a little bit, what do you tell them?
Well, at this moment, having guys like Freddie who come through last night, my boy Mookie, you have Muncy, you have a whole squad right there.
Hernandez. Both Hernandez.
I mean, Edman. I mean, you have guys that they, throughout the season, put up great numbers. Now, we need to figure out the way that we just don't count with Ohtani because at some point when they start pitching to Ohtani, what's going to happen? You're not going to score run? You have to figure out what to do to continue providing run because until this point, if they don't have the starting pitching that they have, they'll probably be long going.
Yeah, good point.
Well, we're going back to Toronto, and I can only imagine what the immigration offer is going to say to you when we get back. Shane Bieber and a 6-2 Toronto win. Ernie Clement, you know, playing wherever, third base tonight, 2 more hits, Another RBI. He's been so solid. He's at 393 so far. Let's hear from him. He's with Tom Verducci.
Go.
Thanks, KB. Ernie, this team suffered one of the most grueling losses in World Series history just a night ago, 18 innings. How did it bounce back so well in Game 4?
That's what we do. We bounce back. We got a resilient group, and it's a testament to the character in our clubhouse.
We've seen this offense roll like this fast-breaking offense before. 7th inning, you scored four runs in a sequence of 19 pitches. What is the offensive approach in these situations that works so well?
Yeah, I mean, we're aggressive on pitches in the zone. We have to be, and you know, they have some really good arms. So when you get those mistakes, you got to jump on them.
And finally, the job Shane Bieber did tonight. What did you see playing behind Shane and the way he mixed his pitches?
Yeah, he makes our job easy. You know, he pounded the zone and just kind of kept them off balance all night. So that was a big outing for us.
Ernie, thanks so much. Good luck in Game 5.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Tom, Ernie, Ernie's been so good. How about this? You know, we talked before the World Series started, Game 1, Bichette coming back. What could he give you with the knee? Clearly wasn't totally healthy. With Springer out and with that, you know, oblique, and they say he's day-to-day, but, you know, I think it's a stretch. If he plays, we'll see. Bichette's giving him something here, Alex. I mean, the game, he missed the one game, but the games he's played, he's hitting 364 with 2 RBIs. He had a huge hit tonight. And they kind of need him without Springer.
So many times, Kevin, we give these managers a hard time because it's easy to criticize, and that's what they get the big bucks for. But John Schneider knows his team better than anybody. He's done a phenomenal job. We talked about him taking the day off, too.
Yeah.
That was an incredible decision because it rested him. And let's not forget, the Dodgers played Game 4 and 5 yesterday. The Blue Jays only played 4, right? Because most of their starters sat on the bench. So one of the benefits for a guy like Bo is he played one game and then he came out for the second game yesterday. And he came back with a lot of punch. And the last swing he had for the double, he looked like the old Bo, like he's back in shape.
Absolutely. And remember, during the regular season, this guy was one of their best hitters with running and score position. Now, people need to understand that when you have a guy like this one, he's hitting on one knee right here. But you know what? He knows that he's in the World Series. He'd be like, I'm going to play with one knee. I don't care. I need to get that ring. And that's what superstar player, that's how they handle the business. And when you have a guy like him, not counting with him, and a guy like Springer, who is day by day with a bad injury because that oblique injury, I had that injury before, and you did too.
Yeah.
You know that takes some time to recover. But when you are with a team like the Blue Jays and you are missing those 2 pieces, things get tougher.
You can't replace George Springer. He's instant offense as soon as he steps in the box for the first pitch of the game. But if he's out and you need to replace him with someone, Bichette is a good replacement.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you said, he's one of the best hitters in the American League all season. One of the Blue Jays' best hitter, especially with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's getting more and more comfortable. He's having better at-bats. Saw the double he hit there his last at-bat. Toronto, they're in a good spot, man. They're in a good spot. They are confident. They know regardless of what happens to them, they can still bounce back. They believe that, even if no one else does.
Gee, they're in a good spot today. I was going to say 24 hours ago, less than 24 hours ago. Earlier today, when we were right here in the desk, they felt terrible. And at least the world thought they were done.
Yep.
And it very much looked like the Dodgers were going to have another cakewalk in the World Series like they did last year. But after this game, it changes everything. It's game on now.
But guys, that's what made them so dangerous. Bouncing back today, feeling the way they feel before this game today, knowing that George Springer wasn't going to be available, knowing that Bichette is hitting with one leg, knowing that their bullpen last night got crushed. I mean, this is a team that if I'm the Dodgers, every play I make, every pitch I make, every swing I take, I be careful with.
I love what you said. And, Jeet, I know you liked what Mookie Betts said after the first loss. We don't care about yesterday. This is where leadership stands up. And how leadership looks is what John Schneider said. Hey, they haven't won the World Series. They won Game 2. They have 2 wins now. They need 2 more. And Vlad said the same thing. So the teams take the lead of their leaders, Schneider, Vlad, A+.
Yeah, you know, it's ironic. The last 18-inning game, 2018, the team that lost won the next game. That was right. But the Red Sox won that series in 5. This case, Blue Jays absorbed the biggest punch from the Dodgers, got back up. Now we're 2-2. Now it's a little different. The French call of Vladimir Guerrero's home run, now 7 in this postseason. That is the most in playoff history. He has been absolutely sensational in every aspect of the game. Vlad continues to do it, setting the tone for the Blue Jays. Got him in front and then never looked back after that. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, right? All the momentum last night, but maybe some tired legs. I think both teams were a little, but they had to absorb this tough, resilient Blue Jays team. Let's hear from their manager, Dave Roberts.
We knew it was going to be a great series. This team is talented. They're resilient. Talking about the Blue Jays, and they came back fighting. Caught an early lead, and you know, Bieber, you know, does what he does and used the cutter, spun us, minimized damage, limited traffic, and you know, we really didn't get a whole lot of good swings. And you know, conversely, you see these guys, you know, grinding and using the whole field and putting some hits together. And obviously, you know, the homer by Vlad, and you know, that 7th inning, they built an inning right there, and we just didn't have an answer.
It's hard to play 18 innings and come back and kind of flip the narrative against a very talented team and a very talented individual in Shohei Ohtani on the mound. I feel really good about just us, you know, focusing on tomorrow's game. And Trey, I think, has been someone that's kind of come into our environment and he understands kind of how we go about it. So I don't want him to think, you know, he has to do anything other than what we expect him to do. And it's going to take all 26 again tomorrow, but I feel really comfortable and confident with him on the mound, and tomorrow presents a new challenge against Blake Snell again.
Yeah, it sure does. And here is what it will look like. Blake Snell, who's been just great this postseason, but finally had his first blip in Game 1 because the Blue Jays made him work. He wasn't super sharp with his fastball. Trey Savage, also, it's amazing. I mean, the guy was in A-ball and called up, and now he's starting the biggest games of the year for them in the World Series. So Snell got beat up for the first time in a long time in that game. And Savage, Al, he... You know, 4 innings, he was in trouble, but he kind of gutted through it. He only allowed 2 runs, kind of showed you something there. How do you handicap Game 5?
You got to remember, this guy started in Dunedin, right, and which is A-ball. I mean, that's unbelievable to be at this stage when you're 22 years old, the senior in college potentially. But look, in the first start, I think there was some nerves there. He was at home. There was a lot of pressure. And you know what? He didn't have his good split finger, and he didn't have his good fastball. What he did is he had a little bit of a cutter. I think in his Game 2, will be the second start in the World Series. I think he'll be much better, and the nerves will be a lot calmer.
Blake Snell, on the other hand, his fastball, he wasn't able to locate his fastball. His changeup looked like a BP fastball to batters. That's why he was getting hit by that changeup a lot his last outing. He need to come back and start locating his fastball so he can confuse batter, keep them off of balance so he can use that changeup and have a lot of gap in between. If he don't come back locating the fastball, he probably can get hit again, Cap.
Yeah, I say, look, the longer you go in a series, the higher the stakes. So it's going to be interesting to see how Savage handles this atmosphere at Dodger Stadium, because it is a little bit different, okay? And when it comes to Blake Snell, after his Game 1 loss, what did he keep saying repeatedly in his interview? I learned a lot. I learned a lot. So I would expect Blake Snell to come out here and absolutely deal tomorrow night.
The reason that why Snell has gone from good to great is the changeup. In last game, he got 5 hits on that changeup, which is a career high. That starts because of what you said, Poppy. He didn't have good fastball command. So as a hitter, you can almost eliminate the fastball because it's going to be a ball. They just kept getting out of the way. And then he came with that changeup, which was like a little BP fastball.
It's like a BP fastball.
The changeup will only be effective if he can get fastball strike 1 and then go from there.
Waits on this 2-1 from Bieber. Edman up the middle. Base hit center field. Muncy running the bases hard. Varsho's arm is not good. First and third, 1 out. Corners, another 2-2 from Bieber. It is a fastball, and it's lifted to deep right field. Barger goes back on it, steps onto the warning track, plenty deep enough to bring home the game's first run.
The reason I didn't like that away is it's too easy to lift the ball away for that sac fly. You got to be so good inside to be able to do that as a hitter and pull your hands in. That pitch actually did him a favor to get that fly ball.
Kike Hernandez knocks in Max Muncy. The Dodgers go walk, single, sacrifice fly, and lead Game 4. Now, one of the stories of last night's game was how good they had an 11th, warming for the 19th in Yamamoto. There's a fly ball to deep left center field, headed back there. It is gone. Vlad Jr. gives the Jays the lead. The franchise face putting the team on his back.
I'll tell you, this guy's amazing, and he's ready for everything. I mean, this is the first mistake that Ohtani has made, and he didn't get it back. And he can appreciate that because he does that to every other pitcher when he's at the plate. This breaking ball is up, barrel of the bat out in front. And I said, if a spinner is in the zone, it's a recipe for a launched home run. All you got to do is backspin it as a hitter and get that barrel to the ball, and the ball just takes off.
7th. Bonda's 8th pitch. Jimenez comes through with a base hit to left center field. Varsho's in to score, and it's 3-1. Andres Jimenez battling with 2 strikes.
That was more like Blue Jays baseball that you've been seeing throughout the playoffs. Runners in scoring position, they have been stingy. This is literally put the bat on the ball and see what happens. And that's what happens when you do put the bat on the ball. Drawn in infield, easier to hit. But if you've got a big swing, you're going to swing and miss. If you've got that short swing, yourself put a hitter. If it's low, let it go.
It was high, let it fly. Bouncer right side. Only play is at first. A run comes through the back door. And right away, that overturned call looms large as Clement comes in to score. And an RBI and a pinch hit ground out from Ty France. At arms in last season's championship. Has struggled mightily this October. There's another shot to deep left. Over the head of Hernandez and against the wall. Bichette hangs on with a long single. And it's 5-1 Blue Jays.
Looking for that first one from Bichette to really let it go, and he did. It's the first missile he's pulled, and you know he's been waiting for this moment. Gets a hanging breaking ball, and he just, that's well over 100, I would think. 106. I'm going to guess 106 miles an hour. Guessing.
We'll get that answer for you.
Total guess.
109.6.
Okay.
Had the 6 in there. Blake Trinan has now faced 8 hitters in this World Series and given up hits to 5 of them. 2 on, 2 out. Barger. Ground ball left side. Past Mookie Betts, and it's 6-1. A 4 spot for the Jays in the 7th.
Well, what happens with Blake Trinan when you're not 100% is that sinker that is so nasty has a bowling ball drop off the table effect. It's just not as effective. That late movement allows the hitter to track it. Breaking ball hanger and the sinker that you hit on the ground that you think you're going to get the out just doesn't have that last extra movement that misses the barrel. Perfectly legal to relay signs on the field.
Line drive left field. Miles Straw puts it away. And the Blue Jays have tied this series up. After the
champion Los Angeles Dodgers. First, let's welcome the visiting Blue Jays. Left fielder, number 36, David Schneider.
Batting second, first baseman, number 27.
Guerrero Jr. Batting third, designated hitter, number 11, Batting fourth, the catcher, number 30, Alejandro. Manager of the Blue. When I rolled into Dodger Stadium with the World Series trophy by my side, it was a good day. And since we're in LA, why not make it seats? That's right, LA. Let's run it back. Let's send my man Kershaw into the sunset with ring number 3. Let him know what time it is, because we ain't backing down, no. Right fielder, number 37, Oscar Hernandez. Batting 6 at second base, number 25, Tommy Edman. Batting 7, third baseman, number 13, Max Mossi. Batting 8, in center field, number 8, Kike Hernandez. Batting 9, left fielder, number 12, Alex Call. And on the mound for the Dodgers, number 7, Blake Snell. Banquet here for your Los Angeles Dodgers.
At this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able, and kindly remove your caps for our two nations' colors. Presented today by the Los Angeles County Fire Department Honor Guard. Now, fans, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthems. Here to sing the Canadian national anthem, please welcome three-time Grammy-nominated Canadian-American singer, songwriter, and composer, Rufus Wainwright.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love that only us command, car ton bras portait l'épée. God.
Now to sing the national anthem of the United States of America, accompanied by Dodger Stadium organist Dieter Rule. Please welcome gospel singer and Dodger anthem legend, Keith Williams Jr.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were close, the bombs bursting in air came through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Ceremonial first pitch. First joining us, the five-time NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist, and a member of the England Basketball Hall of Fame. Listing all of his accomplishments was the latest start in the baseball game, so sum it up with one word: winner. Let's hear it. Dodger over, Ernie Magic Johnson. All right, boss, the mound is yours. Who you got? Altitude reaction. Yeah, Matthew. Great pitch. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Dodger fans, are we ready? We're about to go live on Fox TV all over the world. They're looking at Dodger Stadium right now. So wherever you are, get up, make lots of noise. Here we go. It's the World Series.
We have the best fans in baseball. We have the best stadium
presented by Capital One. This best of 7 has become a best of 3. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Game 5 from L.A. We welcome you inside. That's the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. These Blue Jays, I tell you what, they lose that 18-inning heartbreaker. They lose their leadoff guy, George Springer, and they come back and still tie this series up.
Well, everybody in Canada knew what this team was all about. The world's getting to see it on the greatest stage. They are tough. They are an offense that is relentless, and when they're good in big innings. And the big innings is how they're tied this thing up. Multiple runs in an inning. They did it 5 times. And they've got 5 home runs with no solo home runs. And guess what? The one thing they were worried about has been on fire lately, and that's the bullpen. So the Blue Jays, if they're going to win this series, it's always been about making more contact and creating havoc on the bases.
So if the offense is their path forward to winning this whole thing, for the Dodgers, it's been the starting pitching. Somebody asked me today, you think they can get 6 or 7 innings out of Blake Snell? I said they try to get 8, 9 innings out of Blake Snell the way it's going for the bullpen. Same thing for the Dodgers. It's the Jays offense. It's the Dodgers starting pitching.
It really is. And you look at this whole postseason, they have dominated by the starting pitching. It's kind of overlooked the lack of offense that they've got consistently. And that starting pitching starts with Blake Snell. He's been as good as advertised with one tiny exception. There's his record in the first 3 starts, and he didn't have his best stuff against the Blue Jays. Look for him to rebound and really pick it up from the changeup to the fastball. That's not normal for Blake Snell. And if the Dodgers are going to win this series, it's going to be on the arms of their starting pitching, despite what the offense has not done thus far.
Yeah, and you mentioned it with the offense. This star-studded lineup, they scored 9 runs a game against the Reds in the wild card round, quiet since. And so changes are coming. And for the details, down to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Joe. For 623 straight starts, Mookie Betts has hit first or second. Not tonight. Will Smith hits second. Mookie hits third. Mookie has only 5 hits in his last 34 at-bats, including 1 for 7 with runners on base in the World Series. Now, with the way the Blue Jays have been walking Shohei Ohtani, manager Dave Roberts believes this can ease the burden on Betts to make them pay. Now here is Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. George Springer is getting closer. He is out of the lineup again tonight with right side discomfort, but he ran today, hit off a velocity machine, and is available to pinch hit. If the Jays stay away from him, he'll have another day to recover for Game 6. But John Schneider says that if an opportunity arises, he will not hesitate to take a shot with one of the great postseason players of recent times. Joe?
All right, boys, so all the pieces set in this 162-game marathon into the longest postseason that you've ever seen in this era of baseball, but it all comes down to 3.
The postseason is a grind. The rhythm, the repetition, the ruckus. A seemingly never-ending cycle you can get lost in.
It's an extra month if you get here, but it's the best month that you play. It's a perfect blend of stress and fun.
Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. The dirt, the champagne, the tears, it all mixes together. To move forward, you have to let it all wash away.
You're fighting for a World Series. Man, this is what we do it for.
The light at the end of the tunnel is earned in the cleaning of the chaos. Welcome to Game 5 of the World Series.
Thank you.
Tonight, we see cancers. Do you have a higher level? What's left inside besides pride? How fast is your mind racing? How loud is this crowd? Don't you love the thrill of it all? One pitch, one swing, in a season of a million moments, the extraordinary is just 2 more wins away. Unlike ever before, a truly international classic. In any language, it's Game 5. Toronto, Los Angeles. Welcome to the World Series on Fox.
That is the voice of Glenn Powell, whose new movie Running Man will be in theaters on November 7th. In Los Angeles on an 86-degree night, we're ready for Game 5, and when the series is tied 2-2, the Game 5 winner goes on to win the World Series 2/3 of the time. They've won 6 of the last 7 after taking Game 5 in a 2-2 series. Lineup for the Blue Jays for Game 5. They're still without George Springer as the guys detailed. So it's Davis Schneider hitting leadoff, followed by Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette, both sliding up a spot. Alejandro Kirk is the cleanup man. Dalton Varsho is in center field hitting 5th with Ernie Clement. And then the bottom of the order that's continued to make this such a tough lineup to get through. Barger, Connor Falefa, and Andres Jimenez. They face off with Blake Snell, who through the first 3 games of the postseason had a 0.86 ERA, but then in Game 1 of the World Series, half of the batters that he faced reached, and he gave up 5 runs.
Yeah, fastball command up too much, changeup up too much. You know what I love about Game 5 of the World Series? Throw away the stats. Now you're seeing everybody for the second time. It's time to adjust, read and react, and that's what Blake Snell has an opportunity to do. He was dominant before. Coming in here 3-0, he had 1 hiccup, and he's got a chance to make the adjustment.
Umpiring crew for this one, Alan Porter is behind home plate. The crew chief Mark Wegner down the left field line. The series has gone back and forth. 6-2 Blue Jays in Game 4, getting off of the deck after the gut punch of an 18-inning loss. 5 2/3 innings from Shane Bieber, gave up just the 1 run. They had the big home run from Vlad Jr., and then they had what John Schneider said is a Blue Jay inning, that 4-run 7th. Now here we go for Game 5. Who heads back to Canada 1 win away from winning it all?
Blue Jays will know right away the game plan from Blake Snell, and I think the game plan is going to be establishing that fastball. And of course, everything works off that fastball. Curveball he can throw for a strike, changeup that he wants to swing and a miss.
Here he comes off and going Game 5 with a fastball that's hit in the air to deep left field. Call to the track. It's on the first pitch of Game 5. Davis Schneider into George Springer's shoes and doing a great impression. How about that? Ready for a first pitch fastball and an ambush to start Game 5 with a bang.
That jacket has been super important to the Blue Jays, and ironically that's the first solo home run in the World Series by the Blue Jays. A plan and react, and he went up there with a plan to swing, and he got rewarded. That's a shock to the system of the Dodgers.
First home run of the postseason for Davis Schneider, who's just 3 for 16 in the playoffs, but he is the latest guy to step into a role for Toronto and come through. And so you get punched on the very first pitch, and now Vlad Jr. hooks a ball down the left field line. They've gone back-to-back to start Game 5. Three pitches in, 2-0 Toronto. Wow.
You wonder when 2 heavyweights are going at each other, who is going to deliver the first blow. Well, they were ready to hit the fastball. You felt like Snell was going to establish his fastball tonight because he didn't do that in Toronto. And the first 2 hitters, I don't know if that's ever happened in his career where the first 2 hitters have hit home runs.
Now it's Bichette. So how do you bounce back from that if you're Blake Snell?
Well, I mean, read and react. So right now, the other team's telling you what they're going to do to your fastball if you don't place it well. So now he's gone to some breaking balls. And this is what is so incredibly great and awful at the same time. When you're facing a guy back-to-back, 1 and 5, it's about making adjustments. It's about reading what he tried to do before and vice versa.
0-2 to Bichette. Grounded foul. So you got a home run from Davis Schneider. You got another home run from Vlad Jr. And you've got Bo Bichette looking more and more comfortable. Crushed a ball off of the wall his last time up last night. John Schneider said he's already looked impressive after missing a month and a half. But then that swing has everybody thinking, here he comes. I asked Bo, I said, did something click in there? Because he'd been getting on base, but just kind of finding his way on, putting it in play. He said, the swing has felt good, but I will be honest, I did want to show everybody what I've really got. First time playing on this big stage. And that was his first time really getting into a ball and looking like himself.
Well, you could see the shock in the crowd. They just sat down, and it's 2-0. Blake Snell is going to have to be mentally tough now to just keep pitching and making pitches and adjust. Just like that.
That's the change up to get the first out of the ball game.
Well, the first one's more of a culture shock because it's like, wait, what just happened? The second guy, you almost kind of expect that he, if it's not located well, he's going to do some damage. And then Springer, of course, that's the loosest club I've seen since doing this full time as a broadcaster. Toronto has had everything you mentioned. Punches thrown, devastating 18 inning. You would never know it walking into their locker room game to game.
Alejandro Kirk, and you just saw in the 705th World Series game all time, this is the first time that a team has gone back-to-back home runs to begin. You could, talking about the vibe of the clubhouse, you could walk through there not knowing what day of the year it is and have somebody tell you it's day 5 of spring training and not think that they're crazy. Kirk goes up the middle with a base hit, and he's now 6 for 8 against Blake Snell in his career. We talk about the Dodgers starters being what brought them here, being their biggest strength and advantage in this series. But you start to look outside of Yamamoto's complete game, the rest of the starters for the Dodgers have given up 13 runs in 16 innings.
Well, this is a different team, and we tried to tell everybody that the Dodgers were going to face a different type offense. Yeah, you can maybe compare them to Milwaukee, but they have a lot more power than Milwaukee.
Here's the bouncing ball to second for Tommy Edman. They got a Mookie Betts for 1. Over to first, a double play. Broad history in this first inning. Back-to-back home runs from Davis Schneider on the very first pitch, and then Vlad Jr. 2 pitches later. Jays have a 2-0 lead before the Dodgers come on.